It was 3:06 a.m. when my front door burst off its frame, not figuratively, a real explosion of wood splinters followed by 4 men in dark tactical gear storming my house, shouting HOA enforcement. They moved like a low-budget SWAT team. Except they weren't cops, they weren't even HOA officials, just goons in cheap uniforms. That night they made a deadly error. They chose the wrong home to invade. I'm Jared Clean, a retired Army Ranger, now a stay-at-home dad to my 12-year-old son Logan. We live in a peaceful cul-de-sac near a small lake town in Minnesota. My wife died 3 years ago from an aneurysm, gone in an instant, leaving just me and Logan. He's the kind of kid who builds Lego tanks with functioning treads and devours books on military tactics for fun. I've done my best to give him a normal childhood, but that night something was taken from him I can never restore. The HOA in our neighborhood had turned strange. After a leadership shuffle last year, a woman named Cheryl Ross seized control. She wasn't voted in, just declared herself president, citing some obscure bylaw loophole about no quorum. I called it nonsense. Most neighbors didn't care. Then the citation started. She fined my neighbor $200 for leaving trash cans out 37 minutes past pickup. Another got hit for painting his house off white instead of eggshell cream. I kept quiet until she targeted my truck, an old F-250 parked beside my driveway, calling it a military-style vehicle abandoned on residential lots. She slapped on fees, jacking the fine to over $3,800. I told her flat out, "This is harassment. Stop." She smirked like I'd thrown down a gauntlet. I never imagined she'd go this far. No one did. Back to that night, the door crashes in. I reach for the 9mm in my bedside biometric safe, but I'm too late. One guy's already in my bedroom, yelling, blinding me with a flashlight. Another rips the blanket off, barking about defying an HOA inspection. I see his vest, black nylon, white letters spelling security enforcement. No badge, no name, no legitimacy. I stay still, hands up, wrong house. I say, he shoves me down, right house, non-compliant vehicle, we're authorized to search and seize. No pretense of subtlety. Another's rifling through living room drawers, yelling, found cash. One screaming at Logan, who's now in the hallway, barefoot, trembling, trying to process the chaos. That's when it happened. Months earlier, I'd taught Logan gun safety. Basic stuff. How to hold a firearm, unload it, respect it, never touch it without me. I also told him, if someone breaks in and I can't protect you, do what you must to survive. I never thought he'd need that advice, but he did. Logan didn't yell or cry. He slipped into his room while the hallway guy turned away. He opened the small biometric lockbox on the closet's high shelf, the one we practiced with every few weekends. Inside was a .22 Ruger pistol, small but enough to make a statement. I didn't see it, but I heard the pop of the shot, then silence, then screams. The hallway guy collapsed, clutching his thigh, blood soaking his black pants. Logan stepped out, pale as death, gripping the gun with both hands like we'd trained, and said in the steadiest voice I've ever heard, "Drop your weapons or I'll fire again." The room went silent. The guy in my bedroom froze. The one in the kitchen swore and bolted out the back. The one digging through drawers hesitated, then ran. Within seconds, 3 were gone, tires squealing in a black SUV with no plates. Logan held the gun steady until I stood and took it from him. His hands shook. His eyes didn't blink for nearly a minute. I held him, said he did right, that I was proud, that he was safe. The 4th guy, shot in the leg, groaned on the floor. I called 911, reported an armed intruder, and said my son fired in self-defense. The dispatcher paused, then asked, "Your son shot him?" I said yes. She replied, "Police are coming. Secure the gun, we'll handle it." Real cops arrived in 6 minutes, badges gleaming. They cuffed the guy, read his rights, called an ambulance. I showed them the fake uniform, the plastic badge, the absurd HOA warrant of entry printout. One officer laughed. "This is the stupidest thing I've seen. They made their own warrant. Turns out Cheryl had invented a fake neighborhood security task force, printed fake documents, and ordered knockoff gear online. She even filed a 501c nonprofit to make it seem legit. It wasn't. Just her and some cronies trying to bully compliance. They traced the SUV to her boyfriend, Doug, a parolee with a history of impersonating law enforcement. The guy Logan shot. Cheryl claimed it was a misunderstanding, that she thought they were just doing compliance checks. She was arrested for conspiracy to commit home invasion, impersonating law enforcement, and reckless endangerment. The others faced similar charges. The DA cleared Logan the next morning, calling it the clearest case of juvenile self-defense they'd seen. No charges, no probation, but it left scars. For weeks, Logan barely slept, kept checking locks, asked if we should move. One night, I overheard him whisper, "I thought I was going to die." That shattered me. I sat on his bed, held his hand, and said, "You were braver than I ever was at your age. But you don't need to be brave now. That's my job." We got therapy, security cameras, a new steel, hinged front door. Logan's improving. He doesn't talk about it much, but his drawings show it. He used to sketch tanks and choppers. Now he draws our house with high walls and spotlights, but we're inside, smiling. Some ask if I regret teaching him to shoot, if I'd change anything. I don't. That night they didn't just break into our home. They stole our sense of security, our right to live unafraid. Logan stood up to them. He didn't want to be a hero, he just wanted to protect his dad. And he saved us both. So here's my question. What would you do if fake authorities stormed your home at 3 a.m., dragging your kid from bed, flashing a fake badge? Would you freeze, fight? Would your child know what to do? Share in the comments. And if you've faced a corrupt HOA or someone abusing fake authority, tell your story. People need to know they're not alone, and sometimes standing up begins with one quiet voice saying, "No more."